Yes, good morning class. This is Dickson with Dickson and Mica. We are going to have a presentation on emerging trends in supply chain and also looking at how different companies both within Uganda and abroad are adopting these supply chain trends and actually using them to manage their supply chains. Here we have digitization, advancing technologies. We shall look at various advancing technologies. Then we shall look at globalization itself, is an emerging trend, sustainability, collaboration, lean supply chain. Then part B of our question will be on risk appetite and its importance. Yeah. Now in digitalization, in this case companies use digital technologies like autonomous and robotics, artificial intelligence and machine learning, supply chain analytics. I will give you various examples: supply chain analytics, then cyber security. These things are so much related, they're closely related but slightly different according to how we shall be seeing them. Now, if I begin with autonomous and robotics, autonomous simply means how a system in supply chain is flowing or is operating on self performance without any human monitoring. It's a computer designed system whereby it's like in automation. Then robotics, this is the use of robots in companies, like assembling of parts of vehicles, for example. Companies like BMW, Tesla, they use robots in car assembling, painting, and welding. Then maybe back to autonomous in terms of supply chain. These are supply chain analytic systems which are made up of AI and machine learning. Now, in terms of supply chain, what are these AI-enabled supply chain analytics? Here we mean they are computer systems that perform tasks that typically would have been done by human intelligence. For example, reasoning, scenario analysis, decision making, supply chain performance analysis. All those are AI-enabled supply chain analytics. And examples of these supply chain analytics, we have diagnostic analytics, AI. This one concerns so much of root cause analysis in the supply chain. And then the descriptive analysis, AI, it considers analyzing historical information or scenarios, relating it to the current status, and then appropriate decision is made by itself. Then you have the predictive analysis. It's used in demand forecasting, basing on past information and current trends in the market. See that? All those are different types of supply chain analytics. And we also have blockchain. Blockchain in supply chain refers to the use of technology to record, track, and verify transactions, movements, and ownership of goods within a supply chain. So that's why I said they are kind of interrelated and slightly different according to how they are applied in specific area in the supply chain. Then, for example, Walmart uses the inventory management AI, which helps it to analyze the status levels of the inventory and the appropriate decisions that are taken whether to replenish or continue. Then we also have the cyber security. Cyber security is all about protecting supply chains against hackers, like hacking into information, hacking into supply chains information purposely to cause a disruption or modifying the system or destroying it. So cybersecurity, this is where most companies are engaged in protecting the flow of materials and information in their supply chain. For example, we have supply chain cybersecurity tools like firewalls. These ones detect unauthorized access into files. Then encryption protects data which is in transit and data at rest. Data at rest, that means information not being used, it's there stationed, and data in transit, information which is being exchanged from one company to another. Then that's an example of digitalization in Uganda. That's Stanbic Bank uses Analytics Cloud, as already explained above. Then another trend is sustainability. Sustainability is all about identifying environmentally friendly materials, which aim at reducing waste such as carbon emissions. Is done by that company, Patagonia. Now, sustainability in Uganda have BDCO. They do it environmental, social, and economically. Environmental, they generate their own power and steam using biomass and monitoring and control flue gas emissions. You see, then they also treat their waste through an effluent treatment plan to ensure it meets NEMA standards. Then in community, social-wise, BDCO engages itself in a development project like partnering up with the Rotary Club of Kampala, Cess Islands to donate essential materials including cooking oil, wash, soap, Then in 2024 they supported the Rotary Cancer Run, an event aimed at raising funds and awareness for affordable. Then we also have collaboration. Collaboration, this is where companies come together to see that their objectives are achieved. Now, collaboration depends on the nature of the business, how close. Collaboration depends on how close the businesses are. For example, next slide. If you look at Century Bottling Company and Coca-Cola. Century Bottling Company is a distributor of Coca-Cola, so they collaborate in terms of data, in terms of sharing sales data, collaborative forecasting, vendor managed inventory. Collaboration is important in terms of resource sharing, like for example sharing expertise, forecasting, strategic planning, all of that. Then another supply chain, another trend is a lean supply chain. Lean focuses on identifying the non-value adding activities, and then you focus on the value adding activities to minimize waste. Lean can be attained by minimizing waste through elimination of non-value added activities, like I've said, processes and designs, and maximizing value added activities in supply chain. Now, Toyota uses those concepts in minimizing waste in their supply chain. Just in time, they produce only when there is need, when there is an order placed. And of course, a big company, they have very many customers, so they have enough orders to keep them operating for a whole year. Then have that concept down there. It's called the K-band system. Yeah, I was talking about the K-band system that Toyota uses in promoting its lean supply chain. K-band says that if they are to produce, then they must produce what the quantity of products that don't go beyond their maximum level of stock. So K-band system manages inventory levels versus production quantity. Then the Kaizen is all about continuous improvement, whereby employees at their respective lines of production, they encourage to identify any problem and actually handle them. Then total productive maintenance, that one is all about making sure the system is flowing without any interruption, not even in terms of maintenance. So there's a way they manage to see that their production is continuous. Then in Uganda, HIMA uses value stream mapping to identify and eliminate non-value adding activities in the production. By, for example, cutting off, shortening the production process and cycles, and increase speed with accuracy. Then another trend itself is called the globalization trend. Globalization is a mindset, a business mindset, whereby companies want to extend their sales to the markets beyond their local borders. This is enabled by presence of advancing technologies such as use of internet, whereby a customer can know the real time prices of a given product that he wants to buy. Actually, globalization is like bringing the whole world on your table or in your sitting room, whereby you know what's taking place. So those advancing technologies like use of internet or Internet of Things, blockchain, autonomous systems, they aid in globalization, whereby companies have extended their market boundaries to even other countries beyond their local borders. So I will not take so much time on globalization. Then risk appetite. Now, risk appetite, as we all know, it's the amount and type of risk that an organization is willing to take in pursuit of its objectives. Then risk appetite levels are known after conducting a risk assessment, either qualitatively and or quantitatively, using risk information from risk registers, and have been assessed well, where the results are then plotted on the expected monetary value matrix, and the risk tolerance line is drawn on the same graph. That's how the risk appetite levels are known. Now, the importance of understanding risk appetite levels, it enhances informed decision making. You make a decision which is informed according to the scenario at hand, whereby if you see that risk you want to take on is not going to cost the organization, you can accept to go with it. But if you see that the risk is going to make the organization incur cost, then you can leave it. Then it also enhances effective resource allocation. Managing every risk in any supply chain, it calls for resource allocation, like funds for conducting those assessments, scenarios. So you realize that resources are effectively allocated to manage that kind of that kind of risk that you are willing to take on or accept in the organization. It enhances risk prioritization. It also helps in risk prioritization. For example, you can use a risk heat map to identify which risk needs urgent attention. Remember the COVID times that hit him up, of the COVID pandemic. It gives all kinds of businesses that were hit by COVID. So supply chain managers, especially the risk managers, they got to know how to attend to which risks first, given the type of their businesses. Then it enhances stakeholder management. For example, we have there was a case with Volkswagen. They had a high risk appetite on emission standards, and they had a low risk appetite on analyzing stakeholder expectation in using their product. So they ended up having problems when they allocated money for taking on emission standards. They would have first of all considered engaging stakeholders. Again, so it also enhances compliance and regulatory management. It also enhances compliance and regulatory management. Then it enhances effective alignment of organization goals with suppliers. Then, conclusion: most organizations must prioritize and embrace supply chain risk management as a lifestyle, and also understand